Is back, people, and we're here talking about our predictions for the upcoming season in Ligue 1. It's gonna be a lot shorter video because there's less teams, less games to go through, and less game weeks. Therefore, Stade Rennais and Marseille are drawing that first game week, and Lens going to be Lyon. Lyon going to be struggling still with the season, you know, after being relegated and not relegated and stuff like that. Stade Brest and Lille drawing, Auxerre drawing 0-0 with Lorient, Metz getting beat by Strasbourg, Angers drawing with Paris, and Nantes losing on the first game week to PSG as they look to do what they love to do, and just winning. Marseille beating Paris, Nice beating Auxerre. We're gonna have Lyon beat Metz. I'm calculating game 5. Yeah, for game 5, 10, and 17. Yeah, that works for me. Lorient drawing with Stade Rennais. Le Havre getting beat by Lens. Toulouse getting beat by Stade Brest. Strasbourg beating Nantes. Lille drawing Monaco. It's been a bit of an interesting one so far. Lens drawing with Brest. Another draw for Brest there. Lille beating Lorient. We're going to have Nantes beating Auxerre. Toulouse getting beat by PSG. Angers getting beat by Stade Rennais. Le Havre getting beat by Nice. We're going to have Monaco beating Strasbourg. Paris winning their first game against Metz, and then Lyon getting beat by Marseille. Auxerre beaten by Monaco. Metz beating Angers. Nice beating Nantes. We're going to have Marseille beating Lorient. Lille drawing with Toulouse. PSG beating Lens. We're going to have Strasbourg beating Le Havre. Stade Brest beating Paris, and Stade Rennais drawing with Lyon. Game week 5 here, so we're going to calculate the game weeks and see how we are after this. Le Havre beating Lorient. We're going to have Auxerre drawing 0-0 with Toulouse. Monaco beating Metz. We're going to have Nantes drawing with... Oh, well, Nantes beating Stade Rennais apparently. Paris drawing with Strasbourg. Marseille drawing with PSG. Lyon beating Angers. Lens drawing with Lille, and then Stade Brest beating Nice. We calculate after 5 games in. PSG are obviously top of the table, level on points with Monaco, who've also, you know, not lost. Olympique Marseille not lost either. Stade Brest not lost. Lille not lost after 4 draws on the board for them. Angers, Auxerre, Lorient, and Toulouse all yet to get a win on the board for themselves. I mean, 5 games in, there's still a lot of the season to go forward with and see where we can take things. There's Lorient getting beat by Monaco, Metz drawing with Le Havre, Toulouse beating Nantes. We're going to have Nice beating Paris, Lille beating Lyon. We have PSG beating Auxerre. We have Strasbourg actually beating Marseille there, and Angers drawing with Stade Brest. Stade Rennais beating Lens. You know, we're getting some interesting results in here. Le Havre drawing with Stade Rennais. We're going to have Auxerre getting beat by Lens. Monaco beating Nice. Metz getting beat by Marseille. Paris beating Lorient. Lyon and Toulouse drawing. Lille getting beat by PSG. Strasbourg beating Angers. And Stade Brest beating Nantes. We can give me 10 and we're going to calculate again. Stade Brest and Lorient drawing. Nantes drawing Lille. Toulouse beating Metz. We have Nice beating Lyon. Marseille beating Le Havre. PSG just beating Strasbourg. Lens beating Paris. Angers getting beat by Monaco, and then Stade Rennais beating Auxerre. Auxerre then getting a win against Le Havre. We have Monaco beating Toulouse. Paris beating Nantes. Lyon drawing with Strasbourg. Lille beating Metz. We're going to have Lens getting beat by Marseille. Angers beating Lorient. Stade Brest getting beat by Paris, and then Stade Rennais beating Nice. Cricket table. Oh no, one more game week actually. One more game week can actually calculate it. Le Havre beating by, yeah, and we're going to have wins around the board here. Oh, not 34. No, we'll keep it 3. Metz beating Lens there. Nantes drawing Monaco. No, Nantes beating by Monaco. Paris beating Lyon. Toulouse and Stade Rennais drawing. Nice beating Lille, and Marseille beating Angers. Strasbourg beating Auxerre. Calculate table after game week 10. There we go. Monaco and PSG still level on points. Still 9 wins, 1 draw between the 2 teams. Obviously PSG dominate a bit more with a goal difference there especially. Lorient, the only team without a win on the board. Le Havre and Angers down in the relegation zone. Auxerre just outside of it, all on 5 points. No real gaps shown in the table just yet. You know, it's all still the season's there to fight for, kind of thing. Auxerre beaten by Marseille, Monaco beating Paris, Nantes beating Metz, we're going to have Toulouse beating Le Havre, Lille beating Angers, PSG beating Nice just 2-0, Lens beating Lorient, Stade Brest beating Lyon, and then Stade Rennais beating drawing with Strasbourg. We're going to go with Le Havre beating Nantes, we're going to have Monaco beating Lens, Lorient beating Toulouse, getting their first win on the board there, Metz getting beat by Nice, Paris drawing with Stade Rennais, Lyon getting beat by PSG, Stade Brest and Marseille drawing, Strasbourg getting beat by Lille, and Angers beating Auxerre. Things are changing around for them. Lyon beating their game there, Nantes drawing Lorient, Toulouse beating Angers, Nice beating Marseille in that South Coast derby, Lille beating Paris, PSG beating Le Havre, Lens drawing Strasbourg, Stade Brest beating and Monaco still just winning the game, still just doing what they need to do. Le Havre beaten by Lille, Monaco, oh my god, at home beating PSG as they now go top of the table. Lorient drawing Nice, Metz drawing Stade Rennais, Paris beating Auxerre, Lyon drawing Nantes. We're gonna have Marseille Marseille wins that game there, Strasbourg and Stade Brest drawing, and then Angers beating Lens. Things start to heat up. Le Havre beating Paris, Auxerre drawing Metz, Lorient drawing Lille. Ooh, there's a lot of close games in this game week. Toulouse beat by Strasbourg, Nice beating Angers, Lille and Marseille drawing, and then Paris beating Stade Rennais, and then Stade Brest getting just beat by Monaco, keeping it close. 0-0 between Auxerre and Lille. Metz not able to hold back that force. Paris drawing with Toulouse, Lyon beating Le Havre, Marseille then beating Monaco, throwing things back into contention. Strasbourg beating Lorient, Lens drawing Nice, Angers beaten by Nantes, and Stade Rennais beating Stade Brest. We're going to get into the final bits here. 2-0 win there for Monaco. Lorient beating Metz, Toulouse drawing Lens, Nice beating Strasbourg, a 2-0 draw between Marseille and Nantes. Not good place to drop points there. PSG beating Paris, and then Stade Brest beating Auxerre. Calculate table after halfway through, both PSG and Monaco on 46 points, just tearing away with it. Relegation zone is Auxerre, Metz and Angers, all in the relegation zone, 7 points, 9 points and 11 points. Olympique Lyon a lot lower down in the table than they usually are, but it's because they've come from financial troubles. It bears a burden on you. Lille on 31 points, just outside the Champions League spots, alongside Nice, Marseille there as well. Stade Brest high up the table. They could still a push on for some European spots later in the season. We'll see how far we can take it. As Nantes draw with Paris, we're going to Toulouse beating Nice, Lyon beating Stade Brest. To try and turn things around for themselves. Strasbourg beating Metz, we're going to have Lens beating Auxerre, Marseille beating Angers, and instead of Rennais drawing Le Havre. Le Havre beaten by Monaco, Auxerre beaten by PSG, Metz beaten by Lyon, Nantes beating Nice, Paris drawing with Angers, Marseille, just some results over here. Stade Rennais beating Lorient, who have managed to get their way out of the relegation zone in the last few games, but I don't think it's going to be enough potentially towards the end of the season, as we're going to see where teams actually get in the end. Nice beating Stade Lyon, and Lille drawing Strasbourg, getting a draw out of PSG. Lens beating Le Havre, and Angers beating Metz. I think that's fair. I think that is fair. I'm going to calculate it on Game Week 24 next, and then there's like 10 games left. Le Havre drawing with Strasbourg, Auxerre beating Paris, Metz beaten by Lille, Nantes beating Lyon, Nice beating Monaco, PSG drawing with Marseille, Lens beating Stade Rennais, Angers beating Toulouse, and Stade Brest beating Lorient. Le Havre beating Toulouse, we're going to have Monaco beating Nantes, Lorient drawing with Angers, Metz beating Auxerre, Paris FC beating by Lens, Lyon drawing with Nice, Marseille drawing with Strasbourg, Lille just beating Stade Brest, and Stade Rennais getting beat by PSG, as you'd expect. A 1-1 draw between Auxerre and Stade Rennais. Nantes beating Le Havre. Toulouse drawing with Paris. Nice beating Lorient. Yeah, winning the games. Oh, not 90. Jesus Christ, nil. Strasbourg beating Lyon. Lens drawing Monaco. Angers beaten by Lille, and Stade Brest beating Marseille.
Going now, bye.
Bitch. Monaco beating Angers. Lorient. Auxerre. Metz beaten by Brest. Paris beaten by Nice. Yeah, Marseille beating Lille versus Nantes. Strasbourg beating Lens, and Stade Rennais drawing with Toulouse. Check out the table now, 63 points. Oh, there's a 1 point difference between PSG and Monaco with 10 games left. Olympique Marseille left in the dust currently, as they try and fight with Nice and Lille, and even Strasbourg are pretty high up and doing pretty well. Auxerre still bottom of the table. Metz still low down there as well. Lorient pretty close to Le Havre and Angers, who will be challenging for that relegation spot. I mean, Lyon very, very close to the bottom now. And the gaps are appearing here. Stade Brest and Lens with a big gap between them, a 9 point gap. So that top two is the real top two. That is taking it this year. Nantes beating Angers. Toulouse beaten by Marseille. Nice drawn with Stade Rennais. Lyon beating Paris. Lille beating Lorient. PSG beating Monaco, just pushing Monaco a bit further away from them. And Stade Brest beating Le Havre there. Calculate again in game week 29, I feel. Le Havre drawing with Lyon. Monaco beating Stade Brest. Lorient beating Lens, trying to push their way out. Metz beating Toulouse. Marseille beating Auxerre. PSG beating Nantes. Strasbourg beating Paris. Angers beaten by Nice, and Stade Rennais drawing with Lille. Auxerre drawing with Stade Brest. Nantes beating Strasbourg. Paris beating Le Havre. Toulouse drawing Lorient. Nice drawing with PSG. Lyon drawing with Monaco. Marseille drawing with Lille, and Lens beating Angers, and Stade Rennais beating Metz. These are fair results. Le Havre beating Auxerre. Monaco beating Marseille. Lorient beating Paris. Metz beating Nantes. Good results in there. Lille beating Lens. PSG beating Toulouse. Strasbourg drawing with Nice. Angers drawing with Lyon, and Stade Brest beating Stade Rennais. We're going to calculate again. As Auxerre beating Nantes was in the season. Paris beaten by Monaco. Toulouse beaten by Le Havre. Nice beaten Lyon beaten Lorient. Marseille beaten Metz. Lens drawing with PSG, and Stade Brest beating Strasbourg, as Stade Rennais beat Angers. Calculate again with 5 games to go. Still a lot to fight for at the top end of the table. Lens too far off, and a real push with 5 games to go there. Stade Rennais as well. Nantes. Angers could still get out of the relegation zone. Lyon are going to probably be safe, but even Metz could make a push. But I think Auxerre are down and out. Like up to Toulouse could still be finishing bottom of the table. We'll wait to see where that goes though, as Monaco beating Auxerre. As they keep it close, I mean, they've dropped some real points this year, Monaco, but they get it to 2 points, which is good for them. Lorient with a shot run against Marseille there. Metz beating Paris is not good for the bottom half of the table. Nantes beating Stade Brest. Lille beating Nice in a big game there. PSG beating Lyon. Strasbourg beating Rennais. Big ones there. And then Angers beating Le Havre. Le Havre beating Metz. Lorient beating Strasbourg. Paris drawn with Lille. Toulouse beaten by Monaco. Lyon, Auxerre, Marseille and Nice drawing 2-2. Angers getting beat by PSG. Stade Brest beating Lens. Stade Rennais beating Nantes. After this will be 2 games left. Auxerre beating Angers. Metz beaten by Monaco. Nantes drawing with Marseille. Paris beating Stade Brest. Nice beating Lens. Lyon and Stade Rennais drawing. Lille beating Le Havre. PSG beating Lorient, and Strasbourg beating Toulouse. 2 games left after this. It is still only 2 points in it between PSG and Monaco. So still a lot to fight for. They are very clear. You know, the European players are still a lot to fight for there. With 2 games left, Auxerre are now down and out. Metz look like they're going to be down and out. Angers could still potentially survive. Le Havre still quite down there. Toulouse still down there enough. Even Paris could still get caught in these final 2 games. We'll wait and see which goals is. Le Havre, draw with Marseille. Auxerre, beaten by Nice. Monaco, drawing with Lille. Handing the title to PSG basically. Metz beating Lorient. We're going to have Toulouse beating Lyon. PSG beating Stade Brest, and yes, going to confirm their title for them. Lens beating Nantes. Angers beating Strasbourg, and Stade Rennais beating PSG. 1 game left. Yes, PSG have won the league. Angers could still catch up to Le Havre or Paris FC in this last game. Lorient are now safe. Toulouse are safe. Metz could still survive as well. On the last day, Auxerre are down and out. Let's see where it goes as Lorient beat Le Havre on the last day. Nantes drawn with Toulouse. Paris on the last day beating PSG. PSG not needing to win. Nice beating Metz. Lyon drawn with Lens. Marseille just beating Stade Rennais. Lille beating Auxerre, sending them out, and Strasbourg beating Monaco as Monaco failed to make any real advantage of it all. As Angers do get relegated. Le Havre don't really change on the last day, and Metz don't make the push that they could have made on the last day. I mean, who were Metz playing again? Was it Le Havre that were like, yeah, okay. So Paris FC spent another year in Ligue 1. Lyon finished mid-table obscurity. PSG won the league again, but Monaco do chase them down for it. They really did chase them down. Nice, Lille, both getting Champions League places, and Olympique de Marseille. Strasbourg seeing their Europa League places, and Stade Brest getting into the Conference League. A big gap between lanes there. And that is how the table finishes for Ligue 1 next season. If you like the video, guys, let me know what your predictions are for Ligue 1 this season. Thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I do catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.